What is up, you guys? Pete DiCarlo here, and I am finally back from vacation. I went to Texas for 2 weeks. We drove there. It was like 70 something hours round trip, and it was a lot. But I'm very excited to be back and get back to trading, get back to making videos, get back to putting out quality content for you guys. And I wanted the first video to be when I got back a potential trade setup. Now, I'm not in this position right now. However, I do want to go over this setup. I want to go over also why I see value in this and potentially where this thing could be going in the next couple of weeks and couple of months. Now, the stock that you will see on the screen right now is Jumia, and the ticker is JMIA. The stock was up 10% today. I did not enter. I'll explain why and where I see the best possible entries at. Now we're going to go over the flow and the overall, you know, unusual options activity that I saw happen on this today, because that's extremely important, right? For those of you who are flow traders, or for those of you who use different flow scanners such as like Cheddar Flow or Black Box or anything like that, a lot of you guys might think that flow means everything, and it is important, but learning how to decipher flow, learning how to read it correctly, is extremely important. It's something that I teach in my private academy. If you guys do want to go learn how to do that, use the link down below. You get access to the 60-hour course library. You get access to every single trade that I take live as soon as I take it. You get to live stream with me and the team every single morning for the first hour of market open and join our private live stream. We're actually running a special because of Memorial Day. I'm going to keep it up all week. If you use the code HONOR and you are a first responder, so if you're in the military, if you are a fireman or firewoman, if you're a policeman or policewoman, if you are any frontline worker, you can use the code HONOR and get 75% off for life. If not, you can also use the code ACADEMY90 and you can start for $10 your first month. So thank you for everyone who protect this country and keep civilians safe. That's my way to give back to you guys and girls. So thank you for all of that. Go check out that link down below. Now, looking at Jumia, let's look at actually, let's start with flow, because this is the first thing that came to my attention was the flow today. And one of the first things you're going to notice is that we have a lot of big numbers that are coming in. So one of the first things you want to look for when you're looking at flow is, number one, how does it come in? What's the time, right? So you can see here that the big one that I'm watching is this 716. There's only one of those, but overall throughout the day, we had basically nothing but calls. Some good 618s, some more 618s, more 618s, a couple 716s, and the 716s are the ones that I'm really watching. And if we click on these, you can actually isolate them. Now, if we look at the first order that came through, there was one at 12:05, and this was 12:05 today. The same thing, 716, $29 call. So if we look at 12:05 today, let's go to a 1-minute chart. And we take a look at 12:05. You can see that Jumia was trading right around like the 30s, ring real 31, 31.50, 31.20. This is when the first one came in. The second one came in at 1:32, so an hour and a half later. Same one, 716, $29 call. This one was for about the same as before. So the first was $176,000. Second was $182,000. Now, one thing I want you to notice is that whoever this is, and I believe this is one position right here across the board, a lot of times big buyers and big sellers, of course, will not hit something all at once, right? So instead of hitting, I'm actually surprised they hit with this one order here, but normally these orders, so you can see the first was 176,000, second was 180,000, then 2 million, then 161,000. So overall, this $2 million one, normally these would come in as like, maybe $200,000 positions. Normally that's how it comes in, because big money wants to hide their positions. They want to hide what they're doing so that it doesn't go and alert people, kind of like how we were alerted and found this. Now, if you do want to learn how to use Black Box and you do want to use Black Box software, I will put the link down below. I do highly recommend them. However, it is a bit pricey. So if you're somebody who doesn't want to dedicate the time in learning how to become a flow trader, and you're somebody who, is not sitting in front of the screens all day, it probably isn't really for you. But I will put it down below if you do want to check it out. Now, this is the big order that I want to show here. This is 716, so same strikes across, same dates across. So 716, $29, and you can see this is $2 million. So for something like Jumia to get a 6-week out call, that is in the money, but still $2 million. That is very, very, very suspicious. And the other thing too is that they averaged up into these positions. So you can see that at 12:05, these contracts were worth $4.60. Which times that by 100, that means these contracts were worth $460. Then they bought more at 495. Then they bought more at 519. Then they bought more at 545. So you think of it in this context that if a stock is continuing to go up and these people are trying to get filled, here's the thing, it's also a sweep. So these people, that means they're trying to get filled as soon as possible. This big one hit above the ask, which is massive. That goes to show you that they are trying to fill as fast as they possibly can. Now, when you have a big $2 million move filling as fast as you can and you're averaging up into a position, that shows a level of insane certainty, in my opinion. Now, of course, this can always be wrong, but if we go and we take a look at the way that Jumia has been setting up, if we look here on the daily chart, you can see it obviously had a massive year. A lot of these, smaller cap growth tech companies had a crazy year. But since the top right up here around February, stock is significantly sold off. So we were trading up at levels of 69. Right now we are trading down at that $28 range. Stock actually broke major support on the 200-day SMA after bouncing, fell all the way down, had great earnings, and I was calling this out in the group back on May 12th, and since then Jumia has pushed up 84%. Now, if we look at a little closer at the 4-hour, you can see we do have a bit of a janky inverse head and shoulders forming here. And if we could break this neckline, which is what we're at right now, should see Jumia push up about another 20%. So looking at the daily chart, for me, I do believe Jumia will be back up at $40. I think it's only a matter of time before Jumia pushes up through 40, probably back up to $42, which is anywhere between a 25 to 30% return. Now, I did not enter today, even though I probably should have. Number one, I didn't enter because I didn't have a ton of cash. And number two, as much as I am bullish on this position, I really want to stay disciplined with my entries. Because of the way that Jumia moves, it can very easily knock you out of a position due to volatility. So if you look at from just where the stock closed today to where it is right now after hours, starting down 2.5%. So if you look at it from here, if you were to enter today at highs when those calls came through around $32, right now you're down about 2.5%. If this thing continues to fall down to the 200-day SMA, which has a very high chance of that happening, then you can see that's a 6% fade. Then if we fall to prior support before that, it's a 12% fade. By the time that you would set like an actual stop loss, right? Because if you were to set a stop loss at 28, potentially at 27, you're prematurely setting a stop loss. So for me, I would need my stop loss down at 25.25. That would show a complete break of pattern, which is what I would want. That's a 21% loss for a potential 25 to 30% gain. That doesn't really make sense in my opinion. So looking at Jumia, what I'm hoping will happen is Jumia will reject. Jumia will fall back down to $30. Jumia will bounce off that $30 support and move its way back up to $40. However, knowing my luck, I'll probably wake up tomorrow. Jumia will move up about 15% and hit that first price target of $38. Now, how I would play this is one of two ways. Number one, I would not touch options unless you're selling or doing put credit spreads. So what I'd probably do is if Jumia falls back down to 30, I will probably sell a $31, even maybe a $32 put for July 16th, which would offer a pretty massive return. So I'm going to go on to TD Ameritrade. You guys are not going to be able to see, but if I look at Jumia and I look at July 16th and I look at like a in the money put, so at 32, let's just look at a $32 put, say a $32 put. As of right now, this is if the stock doesn't go down, a $33 put or a $32 put. A $32 put would give you about a $400 return on a $31 stock, which basically you have to times that by 100. So in order to sell these contracts, you would need $3,100, so we'll call it $3,200. And on that $3,200, you would make close to $400 return, which is more than a 10% return for just 6 weeks, which is it's insane, honestly. So the end of the day, that's probably what I would do, is like sell a 32, 33 put, which just means that if the stock closes above 32, $33, whichever strike I pick, by July 16th, then I will end up, keeping 100% of that premium, and worst comes to worst, I end up buying shares of Jumia. The other option would be just buying shares, and which is probably what I might do too, is I might just buy some shares at 30 bucks, go ahead and set a stop loss down here, like I said, at 25.25, which is 15% loss, and look to take profits around $42, which is a 40% gain. So end of the day, I really, really like this position. I think the risk versus reward is there. I do want to play patient. I do want to sit back. I do want to allow the stock to potentially pull back, unless tomorrow I close out some positions. I sell some very, very safe puts, like sell some $30 puts or something. But I want to bring this to your attention, whether you play it or not, right? Like, this is not me telling you to play this position for sure. It is a high conviction. I would say this is definitely a high conviction play if you can get in at that $30 price point. But I think that no matter what, if you take it or not, you should definitely keep an eye on this. Every position that I put here on this channel, which is not a lot, I try to keep that for my second channel, Traders Helping Traders. Every position that I pick and that I show to you guys and girls, I put it there so that you can, number one, follow along if you want, but really so you can watch in real time what I'm thinking, what I'm doing, so therefore you can go ahead and recreate it on your own. Guys, thank you for all your support. Go check out our private academy. Use the code HONOR or Academy90. Thank you for all the support. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.